Hello and good morning. We are back with the big boiler. We're on with a big move. We're on working on this Lancashire boiler again today. So last week was spent making sure we could lift it with the crane. We got all that done. We got it all rigged up, nice and solid. We just got to get some axles under it now. That's the next stage. Ready to be winched out. So let's get on with it. So a very quick catch up for the people that didn't watch last week's episode. This is a 28-ton Lancashire boiler that we're attempting to move. We need to relocate it in the yard. Last week we got the crane under it and we were just about able to pick up one end. Like I say, being 28 ton, we ain't got anything big enough just to pick it up as one go. So we're figuring out a way to get this down on some sort of dolly and get it skated out and up round the corner. So there's your catch up. Let's get on. So I think we left off last week. We was trying to get this big old lorry body moved. She was stuck in the ground, as you can see, but we eventually got this out. We've done that the other night, just worked it with the crane, took a while at one end, the other end, we got it pulled out of the ground. So we got this moved far enough away now that we've got a nice access to our boiler. So I'll show you where we're going to put the axles. I also got these legs cut off that was protruding out with the tyres. What I plan on doing, I think if we got two axles, two big lorry axles, and got them somehow arranged in the middle there so that she's balancing on the axles. I think that should give us enough then that we can pull her out and turn it on the axles. So basically just one dolly here, nothing on the front, and just try and balance it in the middle. But that is the plan anyway. So we got to find some axles. Right, so next up, we need some axles. I've been told there might be some suitable in. These look like they might be heavy duty enough. In the older type trailers, this would be a brakes off until they're locked on job, not the other way round. So these should be ideal. We don't have to bother messing about with the brakes. So right, we've got to figure out how to get them off. Right, so that's the axles cut out. We've just got to hope they left the key in the machine now. Otherwise we've got the forklift stuck. So let's fire her up. That was all she had lifting that up. You're just right on the limit there. Right, let's get them back and start fabricating a base for that boiler. I think the first thing we need to do is get all this stuff we don't need off. So I'll just unbolt the boosters, the brake boosters, and get the rest of the springs off. Then we'll make a start on a frame to join them together.
So today we've got to drop this off.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I worked.
And then what we got to do?
Now what do I get paid?
Well, you can have 10% of what I make.
What's 10% of what you mean?
Do you know what 10% of nothing is? There you go, spin out there. I've got the experts on the job now.
You reckon I could...
Hit it with your purse.
Huh?
Between the gaps on the boiler, we got 2.2 meters. So let's have an eyeball at and see what we see what's going to work. Really. We want these spaced far enough apart that it's going to be easy to turn it, swivel it on its axis. At the same time, we want them far enough apart that they're not going to be too tippy when he's underneath the boiler. I'm sure there's some engineering calculations you can do, but we're just going to eyeball it and aim for the best. So I reckon somewhere like that ain't actually looking too bad. I'll just find something to work with now. These are looking promising. 250mm deep and 1.8 long. I think they're going to be perfect. Save us digging out any of that. Look at that piece there, looks. A lot heavier duty, this piece back here. I think they're going to be easier. We might have to brace at the ends, but let's get them on, have a look. So you're going to want a fighting stance, get in the green zone, and lift with your back, not your knees. If you really want to be safe, just get your mate to do it. It'll save your back. This gap between here and here could be about 250 to 300 mil before the top of the tyre interferes with the boiler. So with them two beams, that's 220. I think I'm just going to rock with that, since they're right there, so I ain't got to cut them. So looking at it now, I think we should be able to just bolt up to these original brake flanges. All the weight's going to be pushing down, so they don't need to take much load. and that should tie the two together. Does mean the boiler is going to be sat like 8.6 off the ground. Let's go compare that to what it is at the minute. So at the minute we're 105. So we're going to be dropping it down a couple of 100 mils. Not a lot. I would have liked to have done more than that, really. Got it closer to the ground, but we might have to even pull the dolly out when we get it in its final resting spot. Get it right down on the ground, because it's still quite high up. Don't worry about that when we come to it. Let's get it moved first. I think I'm going to be able to do most of this with a mag drill, just bolt it together. So I'm going to get around, clamp it, get it squared, mark the holes, and we start drilling some mounting holes. Let's get on. Right, there we have our oversized skateboard. Right. Next up, I think I might want to put a plate along the front here just to stiffen these two webs. If we box that in, that'll stiffen that up, and when the boiler sits on it, they ain't going to want to splay out. Because as they sit, if you put the boiler in here now, just push themselves apart. These aren't very strong, these webs. So if we tie that together, that should sort that out. Don't know how fancy I'm going to get with this. I might have to fire out the plasma and put the radius of the boiler in it, but we'll see. Right, so I got away from the plate idea. I just yammed a bit of box in there. I've got some heavy duty box, thick wood box section. I just put that in there. What I figured we'd do is, if we got to, we'd pack this up with cribbing so that it matches that boiler radius. Obviously the boiler's going to be sitting on here, and then we can pack up to match that radius. So that's my plan anyway. So let's finish welding these out. Right, so she's in place, she's welded together, she's ready to go. I'm not going to be able to get it under there today, I ain't got a crane in the yard. So as soon as the crane comes back in the yard, we're going to get this under the boiler. And then try and let it down on it. So that is it, that's going to have to do for this week. I ain't going to be able to get no more done without the crane, so I'm going to call that a video here. So tune in next week and we'll have a go at lifting this up again. What could possibly go wrong? Cheers!